All right, let's dive right into this explainer. You know that bizarre feeling when your body reacts to something before your brain even knows what's going on? It's wild, right? Well, today we're unpacking the actual science behind those sudden, completely unexplainable gut feelings. It turns out it's not magic at all, it's biology. We're going to decode your body's hidden memory system, and honestly, what we find might just completely change how you understand yourself.
I mean, think about it for a second. Imagine pulling your hand away from a hot stove literally before you even register the heat. Or, feeling your chest suddenly get super tight the exact moment a certain song plays on the radio. Your conscious brain hasn't even processed the situation yet, but your body is already reacting. So we really have to ask, where are these sudden visceral reactions actually originating from? What part of you is making that call?
Section 1. The mystery of gut feelings. The fact is, you have two memory systems.
Okay, so here's the whole shebang. We actually carry around two totally distinct systems inside our heads. First up, there's our explicit memory. You can think of this as our internal storyteller. It mostly hangs out in the hippocampus, just filing away experiences so you can narrate them later, like remembering what you had for breakfast or a chat you had last Tuesday. But then we have our implicit memory. This is the body. It's stored in reflexes and emotional responses. It doesn't ask for permission, and it definitely doesn't write a neat little story. It just acts.
Moving on to Section 2. Two memory systems unveiled. Let's look at the case of the hidden pin.
To really see this split in action, we've got to look at this absolutely wild case study from the early 20th century by a neurologist named Édouard Claparède. He was treating a woman with severe amnesia. To her conscious mind, every single time he walked into the room, they were meeting for the very first time. Well, one day during their routine greeting, he hid a pin in his palm and gently pricked her hand as they shook. The very next day, just like always, she had complete conscious amnesia of him. But when he extended his hand to greet her, she flat out refused to shake it. When he asked her why, she had absolutely no answer. She just kind of knew she didn't want to.
Her mind had filed nothing, but her body had filed everything. This brilliantly illustrates our core concept here. It shows exactly how two memory systems living inside the exact same skull can hold completely different versions of the very same event. The explicit narrative system dropped the file entirely, but the implicit bodily system, it kept the flinch. It remembered the exact danger without needing a single word to explain it.
Section 3. The high and low roads. Mapping the architecture of instinct. So, decades later, a neuroscientist named LeDoux mapped out exactly how this physical reflex bypasses our conscious thinking entirely. He discovered this incredibly fast, low road, basically a shortcut where threatening signals go straight to the amygdala, which is your brain's alarm center. It's built purely for speed over accuracy. Meanwhile, the high road takes that exact same information and runs it slowly through the analytical parts of the brain to weigh the context. And why does the low road win out in an emergency? Well, because it kept our ancestors alive when pausing to use the high road to think about things would have, gotten them killed.
Memory researcher Larry Squire proved this even further with these fascinating mirror tracing experiments. He had amnesic patients trace shapes while only looking in a mirror. Consciously, every single session felt brand new to them. They had no idea they'd ever done it before. Yet, against all logic, their physical performance smoothly improved day after day. It's wild. It proves that physical skills and instincts develop completely independently of our conscious narrative memory. The hands learned these really complex lessons, while the mind had absolutely no clue it was even happening.
Now, here's a really fascinating twist. We tend to think of the body's memory as just a blurrier version of the truth, right? Actually, scratch that. It's the more honest, unedited system. Think about it. Our conscious memory gets edited constantly. It's reshaped by our current moods, our egos, or just the process of retelling a story over and over. But the implicit system, it simply records what worked, what hurt, and what mattered for survival. And it plays it back exactly as it was, with zero spin.
But hey, let's bring this back down to your daily life, because this isn't just about extreme survival or rare amnesia cases. This exact same implicit system is what allows you to effortlessly hop on a bike and ride it after a decade away. It's how you immediately recognize a friend just by the specific rhythm of their footsteps on the stairs. It's why you get an instant gut feeling about someone before you've even talked to them, or why you feel a sudden, creepy unease in a specific room. The feeling shows up first, and then your mind just scrambles to stitch an explanation together after the fact.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, why reasoning often fails, the biological mismatch.
Now that we kind of understand the wiring here, we have to face a pretty harsh truth. Arguments are exactly the kind of currency the implicit system doesn't accept. Because your reasoning lives on that slower high road, it is literally powerless to persuade the fast, logic-blind low road. Your conscious mind can build a perfectly sound, rational case for why a room is totally safe, but since your implicit memory wasn't persuaded with logic to begin with, logic alone is almost never going to persuade it back out.
Section 5. How to update body memory. Mastering the gut.
Okay, so if logic is completely off the table, how do we actually fix a faulty gut reaction? Well, the actionable solution is to update the body the exact same way it learned in the first place, through safe, repeated physical experiences. Step 1. You have to stop arguing with your gut. Logic won't change the reflex. Step 2. Engage in repeated safe experiences that physically prove to your nervous system that the threat is gone. And Step 3. Give your body the time it needs. You literally have to allow it to overlay a brand new physical pattern right on top of the old one.
So to tie this all together, your hand pulling back from a hot stove, that is not the exception. That is the rule. Beneath every single story you tell yourself, your body is quietly running the show with a vast, highly protective memory bank all its own. Your mind might be spinning this ever-evolving, complex story about your life, but your body, it just remembers the raw, unfiltered truth of it.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on the very next time you experience one of those unexplainable gut feelings. What unwritten memories are quietly running your life right now? Seriously, listen to your body. It remembers what your mind was never even given a copy of. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me. Keep exploring those incredible minds and bodies of yours, and I'll catch you next time.